indicate to you that the vehicle was pulled over on Theater Drive. We did confirm that the vehicle was in fact disabled, and that's why it was pulled over there to begin with, and it was not drivable. And so that kind of added to the story of how our deputy came upon the suspect in this case. After the first shooting that occurred up at the cemetery, indicated to you yesterday, the suspect fled back down through the vineyard, back down to Theater Drive to his vehicle. He did in fact return to his vehicle on the passenger side of the vehicle and attempted to get into the vehicle. The vehicle was locked, and that was when the second shooting occurred at the vehicle. As he was trying to get in after he was shot, and the deputies subsequently determined the table to my left, to your right, are weapons that were seized from the vehicle. I believe at least 3 of them were loaded and chambered and ready to fire. The shorter weapon right there was located in between the passenger and driver compartment up front, easily accessible, and at least 2 of the rifles were immediately in the back seat, easily accessible, and also loaded. The small, the standing up, drum magazine was actually loaded in that rifle. All indications are that the suspect was trying to get to the vehicle and to get a rifle out of the vehicle. He never made an attempt that we know of to get into the driver's side, and the vehicle was in fact disabled. Yesterday, our press conference was delayed for a couple reasons. One, the delay was because we were looking to notify the next of kin of the deceased, and second, we were in the process of serving a search warrant at his residence. The photo to my right and has a picture of weapons. I'm referring to the picture in the middle there. That was seized as a result of the search warrant yesterday. There was a reverse 911 call put out for that neighborhood to shelter in place, and I know there was some confusion as to what that was. That was not a result of the shooting, because the shooting was over in a very short period of time. It was a result of concern for the residents in the adjacent to where the suspect was living, and we wanted to make sure that they were safe because it was a very dangerous situation. We had no idea who was present at the location when we went there. Also recovered at the search warrant were actually viewed and identified at the search warrant was gun manufacturing equipment and gun parts. Yesterday I also indicated to you that the gang task force had been working a case against the suspect, and the case was in fact about illegal gun manufacturing. Many of the weapons you see, well, I'll say this first, all the weapons you see in the ammunition were illegal for the suspect to possess because he was a convicted felon, so nothing that he owned or had in his possession was legal. Of the weapons up here that were seized out of the vehicle, they were still doing workups on those, but very likely some of them were manufactured, or the lower portion of those weapons were manufactured by the suspect in this case. So I want to get to suspect identification. The suspect, as you can see up to my right, is identified as Christopher Michael Straub. He's 38 years old. Straub had a significant criminal history. Many charges were dismissed or mitigated in charges, migrated into charges, and here's an example of some of the charges that Mr. Straub had been charged with: carrying concealed dirk or dagger, possession of a controlled substance, willful cruelty to a child with conditions to possibly cause great bodily injury or death, convicted of a felon in possession of a firearm, possession of illegal weapons, multiple parole violations between 2014 and 2015, conspiracy to commit residential burglary, grand theft, and elder abuse. He was currently on or currently wanted for a felony evading a peace officer warrant out of the city of Paso Robles by the Paso Robles Police Department. Give you an idea of kind of sum up some of his past. Straub had been booked in San Luis Obispo County Jail 6 times, been booked in Orange County Jail 14 times, LA County Jail 6 times, and Santa Clara County Jail 2 times, for a total of approximately 28 bookings in his past. He a total of approximately 28 bookings in his past. He is also he had also served 2 separate terms in state prison, and was obviously continuing what his behavior had been.
Black World TV, the new black media, black by popular demand. So family, you just heard the video, and as you've heard, this thug, this Christopher Straub, he had a long criminal history. And one might ask, how was he on the streets? Well, because we don't have a justice system, and instead we have a racial system, as I've repeated so many times, this white man was allowed to get out of jail, get out of prison several times. Umpteen times, as a matter of fact. If you heard his rap sheet, he was involved with endangering a child, almost causing the death of a child, to assaulting senior citizens, to gun manufacturing and weapons manufacturing. This man had a long criminal history, but yet was given the white card and allowed to get out of jail. You know, as a second chance, like they should be giving to black and brown men who sit and rot in this nation's cages that we call jails and prisons. You allow white supremacist gang members to get out only to kill you police officers. That's how smart you are. That's exactly what you did. And if you noticed on the table of all those weapons, there was a little bomb of some sort or whatever, and it said, "Fuck all cops." Did you see that? If you didn't, you might want to rewind and look at those weapons on that table, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But this criminal, this degenerate, he had a long rap sheet, and they continuously let him out. And this is the result of their actions, by allowing white people to get out of jail, to get out of prisons, only to commit more crimes. Except this guy committed a crime against law enforcement. And I have no feelings whatsoever. I don't feel nothing for this. I'm only reporting this to you so you could see just how this racial system works. They'll cage us, black men and brown men, for eons, and we don't get second chances. But degenerates like this, well, white supremacist gang members, and they know that's what they are, they allow them to get out only to stockpile a cache of weapons like what you see before your eyes. This degenerate was a felon, and even though he was a felon, and black men pay attention, because I've seen too many times in our chats on lives where many of you will say, well, I'm a felon though, I have a felony, I can't get a weapon. Look before your eyes and tell me what white people are doing, and then ask yourself, why are you sounding so stupid? We are at war, people. We are at war. Wake the fuck up. So, in this racial system, this man was allowed to get out umpteen amount of times only to commit the crimes he's done with a slap on the wrist until his final mistake of killing a sheriff deputy. And so, with that, I just wanted to report and show you all exactly how this racial system is. Since some of us are slow, we don't have a justice system. It's a racial system. Get it right. You keep repeating the same mantra. It's a racial system. I'm out.